are rocking and roll live. I am your host, as always, Preston Bailey, Smash Mouth Sports. Hit me up at Smash TV Radio. Send me your tweets. Hopefully they're positive, but they're negative. I'll have to light you on fire and roast you the next time I'm on the air. We're going to be talking Taysom Hill today. Cam Vieira, my co-host. Cam, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, Preston. Good to be here. Taysom Hill.
Are you as excited as I? This is the most excited I have been for an NFL player since Tim Tebow. You better believe it. Yes, that Tim Tebow, the great Tim Tebow. I love it. Tim Tebow was polarizing in a positive way, the same way Taysom Hill is. But it's amazing with Taysom Hill. He is religious with his Mormon faith, which I respect. But it's interesting how a lot of people that I would have thought liked Tim Tebow don't like Taysom Hill for some odd reason. There's a lot of hate going on with Taysom Hill, the guy that almost broke fantasy football by himself this weekend. Cam, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's just you're right. I don't know why he's so polarizing. He seems like a likable guy. Probably, what, it might be because of that fantasy. If you have an ESPN league, you were able to start him at tight end this past week. You won't be able to do that this week. I think that's what I think people were just so infuriated that if they were facing a guy who was lucky enough to get Taysom Hill on their team, unless they got that Dalvin Cook performance from a few weeks ago, they had no chance. I think that's why it was so much negative energy and so much anger towards Taysom Hill, because you were able to start a quarterback at your tight end position. I can't think of another reason. He's a better quarterback than Jameis Winston. You're a better quarterback than Jameis Winston, for God's sakes. I can't think of another reason.
Right, and here's the thing. Taysom Hill, before we get too deep here, Taysom Hill was 18 for 23. Okay, 18 for 23. What does that mean? That's 78.3%. So 78%. Let's just round up and call it almost 80% for purposes. 233 yards passing, 10.1 yards average per attempt, which is phenomenal. If he had enough attempts, that would lead the league in yards per attempt. So to put things in perspective, Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, whatever name you want to use, he has the most. He has the most. Now, he didn't have any touchdowns passing, didn't have any interceptions, which is key. So he had over 108 quarterback rating. But here is the thing. He did run the ball 10 times, 451 yards, 5.1 per clip, and 2 touchdowns. So you are right. What you're saying is that he did light a fire in a lightning rod, because early words coming out was that some of the Saints fans and some of the Saints players specifically were not happy. They wanted Jameis Winston. But to get back to fantasy, I started him. ESPN League was the only league you could start him at tight end. Immediately. And I noticed that 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, nobody noticed it. Okay? Nobody noticed it 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, I noticed that Taysom Hill was designated at tight end. So I was saving that as money in the bank. Like our video earlier is Bill Belichick money in the bank. Check on that. I'm going to attach that link here. But Taysom Hill is money in the bank, because as soon as Drew Brees went down, okay, I jumped on him right away, because I've seen Jameis Winston for 5 years. I know Jameis Winston is hot garbage. He's absolutely terrible, okay?
Machine.
He's a turnover machine. 30 for 30 is a joke, like Bruce Arians is a joke. 30 for 30, okay? I knew that Taysom Hill was going to get a significant amount of playing time. No sooner than I'd picked him up, 2 days later, breaking news, Taysom Hill is going to be the starter for the Saints. I was popping bottles, because no matter what, in my mind, worst case scenario, he throws for 200 yards. Okay, they get you 8 points in a standard league. He's going to throw for a touchdown, more than likely. That's 4. He's going to probably run for 30 or 40, and he has a chance to get a rushing touchdown. No matter how you slice it, that's 20-plus points. With the exception of Travis Kelce, there's not a tight end in the league that consistently gets 20 points. There is no tight ends that get 25. He got 25 points in most standard scoring leagues, period. So he absolutely killed it for me. And here is the Machiavellian plan that I am thinking about doing, which would cause even more anarchy. I have started Taysom Hill in my league. I won my game last week, dominated, crushed everybody. But here's what's better than that. I got red alerts 2 days in a row. Taysom Hill, big red line, is no longer tight end eligible. There's no league on the planet that he is eligible for. However, I'm good at finding the glitches in the matrix. And Taysom Hill is that glitch in the matrix. He is that glitch. Now, you're probably thinking, what do you mean? He was a tight end last week. Now he's just a quarterback. He is, unless you started him last week at tight end, which I did. So I did research. I could start him again at tight end if I really wanted to. If I really wanted to cause more anarchy and chaos, I would start him at tight end. Absolutely start him at tight end. But that would unravel the league. They would come at me with pitchforks and start throwing napalm bombs, and they would flip out if that happened. But as long as, and the catch is, as long as I do not adjust my, so I can't pick up anybody, nor can I bench anybody, but I could do that if I really wanted to be a Machiavellian mastermind, Chris Angel mind tricks, and just light people on fire and trigger people even more. Cam, what are your thoughts on that?
I can see you're like Mr. Burns, like excellent, with that, the Taysom Hill thing. No, I mean if you want to do that in that league, that's your right. Go for it. You better hope your team stays healthy because that's going to be the one thing that might trip you up. That's the only thing I can say.
No, you're not. No, it's like mine better than Burns. No, what you're not understanding is I'm just talking about this week. I'm talking about just this week. I could start him again at tight end and get an extra 25 points. Is what I'm talking about.
Correct.
So obviously, at some point in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks, I'm going to have to bench a guy. There's not going to be a favorable matchup. I'm simply saying I could keep him in. So even if there's a receiver, maybe I want to start a Mike Evans, bench a Mike Evans, whatever it is, versus a Chase Claypool or whoever, I'm saying that having a quarterback at tight end is a massive advantage. So even if your other matchups are not ideal, you feel you're leaving 3 or 4 or 5 points on the table, I'm getting an extra 25 points on the table is my point.
Correct.
Worst case scenario, I'm getting an extra 18 to 20. My backup tight end is Hunter Henry. He's a great tight end. Very good, not great. He's very good tight end, but he's not Travis Kelce. He's not at that next level. That is the point that I'm talking about.
No, I got you there. And no, that's absolutely true. Now, look, I think Sean Payton made the right call starting Taysom Hill over Jameis. I guarantee you what happened. They got to practice, first practice without Drew Brees, and Jameis Winston turned the ball over 3 or more times.
100%. I was at practice last year. I've been at practice the last couple of years. I was so disappointed last year. The practice I went to, Jameis Winston threw 3 interceptions in practice. And I'm like,
against his own players.
I'm like, this is practice. Guys are not going full speed in practice. They're going through the motions. And the other thing was they also did not throw to O.J. Howard. They threw to O.J. Howard twice the whole practice. The whole practice. Once on a regular route and then once in the end zone. And I'm like, this is terrible. What has the theme been for our team last year? Last year, the theme was we don't go to tight ends. We still don't go to tight ends. We've got Gronk, the greatest tight end all the time. We still don't go to Gronk that often because that's how the offense is designed. O.J. Howard is out for the year, so he's done. But we had problems with turnovers last year. Even with the great Tom Brady, we're starting to have some problems with turnovers. So that is my problem, and that is my issue with that. What are your thoughts on that, Cam?
That's just Bruce Arians' system. He's never used his tight ends. He didn't use them in Indianapolis. He didn't use them in Pittsburgh. He didn't use them in Arizona, and now he's not using them in Tampa, despite the fact he has the greatest tight end that's ever walked the planet and played the game in Rob Gronkowski. I don't know, but we said this with Matt McCarthy. Bruce Arians is as stubborn as the day is long. He is, we do what we do, and we don't adjust, as we've seen in both Saints games. He got Tom Brady killed by Cameron Jordan.
Yep, great point. It's going to be a short show. Hit me up at Smash TV Radio. Thanks again, Cam. Appreciate it.
Thank you.